Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Harry. Today, I wanted to continue our conversation about weight, or as I would like to frame it, regaining our health. Because when we're talking about losing weight, what we're really talking about is regaining our health. So, how do we create a blueprint for that? Well, first of all, let's talk about some things that may be sabotaging our ability to create the strategic blueprint. Well, one of those big things could be stress. And what do we mean by stress? Because I know you've heard the word quite a bit. Stress is really experiencing burdens beyond your body and mind's ability to cope with it. And so then it becomes really stressful, and the body becomes overwhelmed and the mind becomes overwhelmed. And our coping mechanisms then are pretty much non existent. So what are some things that could be contributing to stress? What are some things that could cause this kind of stress? Well, one of them is job stress. Let's talk about job stress. Job stress happens when you have a job that has a lot of responsibility, but you have very little control or very little power in that job. Research tells us that's when jobs are experienced as being the most stressful. And job stress has been linked with cardiovascular disease and other chronic illnesses as well. Not to mention the sleepless nights and the anxiety and the depression that may go along with that, all of which also contributes to us not being able to fully regain our health. So this is something that you need to throw into the equation when you're talking about experiencing what could be sabotaging your ability to create a blueprint for health. If you're in a job situation that you're experiencing as toxic, you're experiencing as not very supportive and nurturing, that could be experienced as a really significant stressor. The other thing that we want to talk about that we may be carrying around with us as a stressor is our thoughts. Like, how are we experiencing ourselves? Let's say that we feel that we want to lose, let's say, 20 pounds. But every time we get on that scale, it may tell us that we've lost 0.2 pounds and we've gained 1 pound. And so we've tied up a lot of our energy into that number. What I want to say to you at this point is create different parameters for success. This is why it's really important. What we talked about in part one is just establishing a why that really, really works for you. A why that you can experience, that you can fall back on. It's really important that you do not let that number on the scale be the only determinant of success for you, because change can be very slow and can take time. And you may start experiencing other benefits before that number on the scale changes. And that number on the scale may not need to change as much as you think it needs to, because you're talking about, remember, regaining your health. So are you regaining your health? Are you experiencing more energy? Are you sleeping better? Do you have better muscle tone? So now your joints are not carrying as much weight. The muscles are now being engaged to carry some of that weight. Are you now able to climb that flight of stairs that you've always wanted to? Have you started to train for that 3K that you've always wanted to? Those are parameters of success, not only the measurement on the scale. Another saboteur that you may not have thought about is experiencing biases on a daily level. So biases such as, we know that there are many issues out there we know that many people who are overweight or considered obese experience a lot of biases. And so each time they can be so stressed about going out, wondering about how they're going to be experienced today. You know, is someone talking about them, or so it's really important that we be conscious of that, because oftentimes when we experience those biases, it may actually make us want to take a step back. And this is why it's really important that we start appreciating and loving who we are now and the body that we're in. because that's what's going to be doing the work for us. So we have to love it. Now, we may not be able to change other people's perceptions, and that would be great if we could. But the first perception that we want to change is ours. Another hidden saboteur may be that, believe it or not, there was a study that was done that showed that students who were exposed to continual stereotypes about their particular group, actually their brains started to change in such a way that they no longer were able to reach for positive things. So you can see all of this really makes a difference. And so there's so many things that could be sabotaging your ability to create this blueprint for yourself that you've always envisioned about regaining your health. And being conscious and aware of these things allows you to start creating a plan around it. So until next time, this is Dr. Harry, and we will continue this discussion on regaining your health. Bye-bye.